Welcome back. Well, Christmas is around the corner, and some top bakers say there's no time than right now to start baking those Christmas cakes. So for more on this, I'm joined now by Chef Susan Craig, who will tell us how one can go about baking and storing a Christmas cake. Susan, thanks a lot for joining us. And I must say, thank goodness that you're here, because I don't know how to make a Christmas cake at all. So let's start from the beginning. How do we do this?
Well, it's actually a hell of a lot easier than you can imagine. I think people are overwhelmed by the thought of it.
Yeah.
But actually it is just masses of fruit bound together with a little bit of flour and egg, and it's very, very easy to make and kept moist with brandy, which makes it so delicious during the Christmas season.
So it is, the trick is, and my producer was actually saying to me, you must really ask the question around, do we steep it in brandy or do we not? And you're saying steep it in brandy because it actually helps with the moisture.
Yeah, it keeps it moist. And what bakers generally do is that they bake the cake, and every couple of weeks they pour over a lashing of brandy. And I think it also helps them get through the Christmas day after having all the family around. I think being slightly inebriated does help.
It is a coping mechanism for many.
Definitely, definitely.
So then how do we then start? So if I had to come to you and I say, which I am here now, and say, Susan, I have absolutely no idea, where do I start? Do I start with, and how do we even get the fruit? How do you identify the fruit? What do we use? What amount do we use? I mean, yours looks absolutely perfect, and that's just intimidating. So where do we start?
It's actually very, very easy, because at this time of the year, all the stores have got glazed fruit and cut up dried fruits,
yeah,
which is what you actually use in the Christmas cake. So they are all around in the stores, and I obviously have got a recipe that I teach at my cooking school, and it's completely unintimidating. Actually, I think the thought of baking a cake or baking a fruit cake is more intimidating than it actually is, because it can't sink. So that's actually the best part about it, is that as you make it, that is the form it keeps, you know. So the fruit keeps it standing up and in that format,
okay,
which is fantastic. And the fruit keeps it moist, because there's nothing better than a moist cake, and one that is the right shape, looks the way it should.
I hope so.
Not with a big dent in the middle. Or
well, if it was me that was baking, we'll probably have the big dent in the middle.
No, not with the fruit cake.
Not with the fruit cake. So you're saying, so it's the fruit, it's the flour. And is there like a measurement in terms of a cup of fruit to a cup of flour, or how would you suggest?
Everybody's got different recipes, and I think what's important about a Christmas cake is that I think that the whole sort of spiritual idea of making a cake for Christmas is what's so special, is that sort of preparing for the celebration with your family and making cakes for your family. So I think that is also quite a special part of the whole baking process, is getting things together, getting all the nuts, lots of nuts. And they're quite expensive to make, because fruits and nuts are expensive items. But
yeah,
I mean, it's a once-a-year treat, and it's obviously got lots of sugar and treacle in it. And it's a feast, which is exactly what Christmas is. It's a Christmas feast. So that's what you're aiming to have.
I mean, it looks, as I said, it looks absolutely beautiful, and it smells absolutely divine. How long does a Christmas cake last? The million-dollar question. I mean, you start baking it. When do you start baking it? And then when do you have to eat it?
Well, you can actually start baking it 3 months in advance, because the alcohol keeps it from going off, because there's very little flour to the fruit. You know, the ratio of flour to fruit is quite low. I mean, the fruit's higher than the flour. And it's like a wedding cake. Some people eat their first layer of their wedding cake
a year after,
on the first anniversary. So it is possible to have it months later, to be honest. As long as you can wrap it and keep it moist and keep it in tin foil, obviously in a dark corner of your cupboard, it'll be perfect.
What would you say is that secret ingredient that one must always have, or you put in, that makes yours just that much more unique to any other fruit cake? And I just think that every individual's got a signature to their preparation, yeah, and to their meals. What's your signature?
I put in a lot of cinnamon, because I love cinnamon, and to me cinnamon embodies Christmas. You know, so that smell of cinnamon and all that allspice. And I also put in a lot of apricot, which is quite a South African thing, because it's a tropical fruit. But I put in lots of dried apricot, which gives it that sort of slight sweet and sour flavour, which I love.
Makes me happy. Just makes me all excited and looking forward to Christmas. So, Susan, thanks a lot for joining us and sharing some light.